So our program is called Ketchikan, Kitten and Mother Rescue, and we established it about a year ago around this time. And we saw a need in the community for specifically kitten and mother care.
There are a lot of cat colonies in Ketchikan. We want the opportunity to take care of those neonates. Some of them need bottle feeding or lots of medical care. That's something that we specialize in. I'm a nurse in my real job, so I like to bring that level of care to the kittens too. Nicole and I worked together in a previous organization, and we really bonded and worked well together with some of the rescues we had. So it seemed like a natural partnership for us to start KKMR together. We have similar standards and protocols that we wanted to follow and bring into place with KKMR.
Our mission with Ketchikan Kitten and Mother Rescue is to provide veterinarian care and safe homes, foster homes, and also a successful adoption process, as well as spay, neuter, and vaccinations for all of the cats that come into our program, hopefully to reduce the population in town. One of the services that we provide in Ketchikan that was unavailable previously was taking care of neonatal kittens. So kittens that need to be bottle fed round the clock and that need to be kept warm and close to a human basically all of the time in order to survive. That was something that the borough and the city weren't able to offer, and so we stepped in and took on that role. And since then we've had about 5 of those small ones in the year that we've been able to raise. We also have a really great system of foster parents that can care for the cats, and I think that it's very important for them our kittens to be able to be raised in a home where they become used to people and being handled lovingly and become a great family pet. So those are things that aren't necessarily on the veterinarian side, which we do all those things also, but we really provide one-on-one contact as they live in our homes with us so that they can find good families. So we have an application that you have to fill out, and you have to have 2 references that we call. We also do a cursory background check on everyone. Then typically they would come and see us and see the kittens and make sure that it's a good fit.
We make sure that they've had experience with animals before. Hopefully they've already volunteered at the rescue down south or something like that. I also teach a fragile kitten class, so we'd never have anyone start off with bottle feeding kittens or anything that was that difficult. We'd start them with kittens who are old enough and weigh enough to be altered and to be adopted right away, and they're just waiting for a home, and see how that works out. And if they do well with that, then we'll trust them with younger kittens or ones that have like little medical problems or so. Right now we don't have any fosters that we do medical care with. We just have ones that are taking older kittens. Besides April, who's on our board, and she has extensive experience, so she could take medical kittens too. But she's a foster and she's on our board.
We have a big TNR program, which is trap, neuter, and release. So oftentimes people will call us and tell us that they have feral cats outside or cats that they've been feeding that they need help neutering or spaying so that we don't have more kittens in Ketchikan. So we have a very strong emphasis in the winter time with TNR because there's not as many kittens. And then we're hoping that that leads to less kittens in the spring. So far we've seen a little bit of a dent, but we do have quite a few kittens right now in our program and a pregnant mother.
Saga is one of our favorite cats. She came to us feral and pregnant, and we had her set up in a cage with a little camera to watch her to see if she went into labor, and I thought I would just try petting her just to see how it went, and usually that doesn't go over so well with the feral cats, but she started purring immediately and wanted to be held. So we introduced her to Freya, our cat, and she just kind of became part of the family. She actually gave birth on my chest at 6 in the morning. I was very shocked. I was asleep, and then she just was very quiet and just went meow, and all of a sudden there's a kitten on my chest. So we panicked. That was the first kitten we've ever had born in our house. So she gave birth to 5 kittens, and then she was just an incredible foster mom for Piglet, whose mom was too young to really nurture him appropriately. And Piglet's brother died. He was premature and very tiny. He was more than a runt. It was not compatible with life, and he didn't make it very long. So Piglet didn't have to be too lonely. And then in the meantime, someone found Peanut on the dock, and Peanut was the same age, also a neonate, also by himself, and Saga took him in too. So she really had 9 kittens total that she ended up taking care of, and only 5 of them were her own, and we just cycled other fosters through, and she really was a great mama. And now she leads a very happy life. She went from being 6 pounds to like 11 pounds now. She's very chunky. She likes to wear dresses. They put her in dresses, and she has a big brother that she likes to play with. And we were so blessed to find someone who wanted to take an adult cat who had been feral before, and they're really patient with her because she's still kind of shy. But she really went full circle with us, from captured feral outside and pregnant to having a golden litter of kittens. That's what we call it when they're born inside, and we get to take care of them and nurture them in the way they should be nurtured so they like humans, and then get to have her happy ending story with a big brother and a family that loves her.
What's out there, Pink? What you looking for?
Piglet was one of the first kittens that we adopted out. He fostered with Saga for a while. He was definitely one of the most beautiful kittens we've ever had. He was white. He is white with peach-colored ear tips and tail and paws. He ended up being absolutely huge and fluffy. We get to babysit him sometimes. He got adopted by our friends Kara and Cece, who help us run kitten yoga, and they're just very proud of him, and he's grown so big, and we love babysitting him from time to time when they go on vacation.
Little boy. What are we gonna do with you if you start making it out?
So currently we have 14 kittens and one 1-year-old cat. And we actually received her from Metlakatla, so we have provided services to Metlakatla, Prince of Wales, surrounding areas.
So Poppy was one of our rescues from Metlakatla. We got a call that a cat had been hit by a car, and could we take them for medical care. We brought Poppy in, and Nicole really assumed her care, and we found out that she had balance issues, not because she had been hit by a car, but she had a severe ear infection and some neurological issues, so she couldn't keep her balance, and it looked like one of her legs was injured, but really she just couldn't neurologically keep her balance and keep straight. So she was treated for that, and she also had bradycardia, which is a slow heart rate. Cats should have a heart rate of 180 to 200, and hers was only 100, so she was very lethargic and just kind of mopey and sad and didn't want to play. But she's really come alive, being kind of a foster mother, even though she's never given birth. She's altered to the kittens, and last time we took her in for a checkup, her heart rate was 160, and it's coming up totally on its own, and we wonder if she didn't get into some toxin or something that, along with that ear infection, that's just wearing off now, and she's getting healthier and healthier.
We have rescued approximately 65 cats. And that includes either trap, neuter, releasing, and giving them back to the community member that's feeding them, or rehoming them.
What's the fuss?
Now I try to exclusively do neonates because they take a lot of care and a lot of medical care, and so that's what I'm trying to focus on more. And then we're building our foster network of people who can take care of older kittens, and maybe if they have kids, get them used to being around kids and louder noises and socializing them. And that's really good for them.
So many community members, especially our elderly, have a very soft spot for the community cats in the area. And so they'll often feed them outside and even provide maybe a shelter for them, but they aren't able to alter them. And so then they reproduce, and then we have an even greater problem the next year. So it's very important that if people reach out to us, they know that it's great to feed them, but we really need to get them altered. So the best practice for TNR is to recognize your situation where you have the community cats, scope out the area first, make sure everything's safe and ready to go, and make sure you have a veterinary appointment. We don't want them sitting in your house or in your garage waiting for their appointment for too long, because they are not necessarily all feral, but they are community cats, so they're not used to being handled or being in captivity. So the best practice would be to make sure you have your vet appointment, and then to get them there. We have a really nice way we've come up with to transfer them from the cage into their holding area, and it's very peaceful, which has been a great way to learn, just to keep them calm. and then get them to the vet and bring them home, keep them calm. Basically, we watch to make sure everything's healing okay, that there's nothing going on and they're not acting different, and then to release them as soon as the vet recommends. And so our guidelines, we work with the Humane Society. They've become a partner with us, and so we work with within their guidelines because their SNP program is what provides most of the funding for that part of our rescue. And then we also go off of some national cat group recommendations just to make sure that everyone is safe and healthy. So day-to-day operations for KKMR could vary depending on what season it is and what's going on in the community and how much people are aware of the need. So we could get a call, oftentimes I'll get a call at 11 o'clock at night and I'll have to go into town and help a situation where, you know, they trapped a kitten, or sometimes someone knows they have a family of kittens that we have to trap, and so I'm just on call ready to go in and get them at any time. So it's not a glamorous day-to-day. You know, I have a kitten room in my house now that I took from a guest room to a kitten room, and it's a lot of cleaning up and sweeping and sanitizing and all those things. So, and it's, you know, at nighttime, it's nice cuddles, those are benefits, and just, you know, vet appointments are often a thing, and administering medication and all those kind of things. Currently we have 5 foster families that we have in our program that help us, so we're all kind of doing the same thing, and mostly just socializing them. Also, some of our kittens, especially the ones we have now, have been born in the wild, and so they've been out there for a month without human contact. And so there's a lot of just kind of calming down their spiciness and letting them know that they're safe and they're home now. So.
Noticing if this side feels a lot different than the other side, and that's totally normal and okay.
So we like to put the fun in fundraising. You know, we all have busy lives, and so we'd like to make anything that we have to do to earn funds to be entertaining. So one of our favorite things to do is kitten yoga. And we do that with Yoga on the Rock with Charlie Murray-Young. She's great, and so she volunteers her time and lets us come up to her beautiful studio, and we usually have about 15 to 20 people, and when we have a batch of kittens, you know, they're pretty well socialized and they go running around and people can do yoga or just play with the kittens. So that's a great way for us to raise our funds.
I've been kind of in charge of fundraising, and I love knitting. That's one of my other hobbies besides cats, and so I thought I'd bring that in to the cat world. We teach beginning knitting classes where it's $10 for a drop-in class, and through that we have kind of established a little club of knitters, and you pay a flat fee and we knit a project together for people who have never knit a project together. So we've done a hat, we've done socks, and now we've most recently done a sweater, all the same sweater, all at the same time, so everyone gets help. And also I knit headbands that are all made with yarn that's hand-dyed locally by my friend Carrie of Summit and Skein Yarns, and she donated to us, so we have enough yarn for the rest of my life to make headbands. I also sell stitch markers for knitting and crocheting at Fabulous Fiber Arts, and they carry them for us and give us 100% of the proceeds to go for medical costs.
We also do read-alongs, and it's typically just a theme, and someone will be reading along with your, you know, you'll have your sleeping bags and your pillows, and kids can come in with their parents and cuddle the kittens and have some hot cocoa usually. We also do an annual garage sale that earns quite a bit for us. This year we partnered with Island to Island Veterinary Clinic to do that. And this year we're going to try our hand at Blueberry. So we're going to have a booth at Blueberry, have all things cats, and talk a little bit about our program and see how we can help people get their animals spay and neutered.
One of our other fundraisers is auctioning off the right to name the kittens. So Poppy was named by someone who volunteered to pay some money toward her medical bill to name her. We also had the last 9 or 7 kittens named after all Star Trek characters by someone who donated for that. We had Ruth Bader Ginsburg and this is Cory Booker. Someone named them after their heroes and donated $300 to their medical care because, as you can imagine, neonates are pretty expensive.
Here we go, it's left.
So coming up, we have long-term care. We're going to be going to long-term care with our kittens. It's one of the first times we're going to be doing this. Kristina is a nurse in her other life, and so she has a soft spot, obviously, for getting those two things in her life together. So it should be a really great event of having, I think we're going to bring about 3 or 4 kittens, and they will be able to interact with those at long-term care, and yeah, hopefully bring some joy to them, and also just good for the cats to be socialized. Hopefully they'll take a nap on them or something like that, which is good for both. So that's an exciting thing coming up.
Yeah, this is definitely a very rewarding line of work. Besides just loving cats and getting that unconditional love back, it's really rewarding to watch them grow up. Like Corey here, Corey Booker, when he first started out, he was just so kind of pathetic and didn't have any opinions, and now he's starting to get picky, and he has his favorite place to sleep, and he has his favorite heating pad, and I like to see them realize that they deserve the world, because they really do. It's nice to see them grow into that. And then it's really rewarding to give them to families and have them find their happily ever after. People ask all the time how we can give them up and not just keep every cat that we foster, but it's really a privilege to raise the best cat that we can and then give them to a family that's going to love them forever.
What I find most rewarding about this work is seeing pictures, honestly, of the cats with their families on social media and having the adopters send them back to me a year later, and just seeing how they're living together their life and loving it. And I also really do have a heart for trap, neuter, release. I love seeing a cat be released back knowing that they're safe and healthy and they're not going to be reproducing. And it could be just a fluke, but 9 times out of 10 when we release them back into their home, they stop and they look back at us, and I just kind of think, oh, Mother Nature knows. So I do really have a big heart for those feral cats in our community. The community at Ketchikan can support and help our organization first and foremost by spaying and neutering their animals. That takes a lot more off of the streets for us to have to catch and try and rehome. Obviously, we have a lot of cats in town that don't have homes and that need them. So that would be the biggest way. There's a lot of stigma a lot of times about not being able to afford that. Those altering programs are expensive, we understand that. However, there is help out there, and there is no shame in asking for that, and that's what we're there for also, to work with them. Whether you're a community feeder or you're a pet owner, this season we happen to have a lot of pet owners who had litters. So it's not just the cats outside that are reproducing, it's a lot of cats inside, and we understand that times are tough. And so currently we have about 5 cats that we have appointments for that are domesticated indoor cats that have had litters, and we're going to be altering them. So that would be the greatest way that Ketchikan can help us, is by reaching out to us and letting us help them get the cats altered. We do have obviously medical bills all of the time, so monetary donations are always appreciated. But next to that, I would say we also always need fosters. A lot of times we have summer overflow, which is right now we have kittens overflowing, and sometimes we get people who come just for the summer and they reach out and they have children and they just want to help, and so they'll take a cat for a month, and it's great. So even if you can't do it year round, we need fosters, especially in the summertime.
We're set up on our website to sell merch now, and so we're figuring out all those sorts of things. So people should be able to go to Ketchikan, Kitten, and MotherRescue.com. Is it .com?
It is .com.
And buy merch now.
So the community can reach us in our organization either on social media, Facebook or Instagram, and also on our website at Ketchikan, Kitten, and MotherRescue.com. And there's places to fill out an application for adoption, there's events, and also a place to donate.
You can try. Also, we don't just keep them in a cardboard box. They have a fleece blanket, a velvet pillow, and a heating pad. I know, baby.